This week we're going to make some spiced date biscuits called ma'amoul. These biscuits are generally eaten at the end of Ramadan. Let's get cooking! To a mixing bowl or a food processor if you have one, add 350 grams of fine semolina. This is different from the semolina you use to make semolina pudding, and don't use that one because that really doesn't make good ma'amoul biscuits. Trust me, I tried it. In the absence of finding fine semolina in the supermarket, I've substituted it for rice flour, and I'm really hoping that it will work. Also to the bowl, add 100 grams of plain flour, 2 tablespoons of caster sugar, half a teaspoon of fast action dried yeast, which actually smells totally disgusting, and a pinch of salt. You need to melt 100 grams of butter, or you can use ghee, and then add it to the dry mixture, so the flour and the sugar, etc. If you're using a food processor, you need to pulse this mixture until it looks like the texture of wet sand. So hopefully I can do this without a food processor. Once you've added the butter and mixed it all in with the flour, etc., this is what it should look like. I don't know if you can see it properly, but it does look a bit like sand. Next, you need to take 130 millilitres of milk and 2 tablespoons of orange blossom water and add it to your flour butter mixture. Mix it all up until it forms a dough. Once you've made the dough, which could take a little while, especially if you're not using a food processor, transfer it to a clean bowl, cover with a clean tea towel, and leave it at room temperature for 1 hour. During the hour you're waiting for the dough, you can make the filling. Into a saucepan you need to add 200 grams of dates, roughly chopped, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of ground cardamom, 50 grams of butter, and 50 millilitres of water. Bring the water to the boil and then reduce the heat and let the mixture simmer for 4 to 5 minutes. It should make a paste. After 4 to 5 minutes, you will see that the date mixture resembles some kind of paste. Right, so now it's the moment of truth. The dough's been sitting for an hour, the date mixture's ready. It's time to make the biscuits. Hope it works. Last time I made this, it went horribly wrong. You need to take a walnut-sized piece of dough and apparently flatten it on a clean surface. Oh, it's all going to go wrong again, I just know it. Cup it in your hands like that. Take a teaspoon of the date mixture and then wrap the pastry around the date mixture. Well, it doesn't look as good as it did on the pictures. Let's try it again. Yes, well, that's not really looking very appetizing, is it? Let me have a think, see what else I can come up with. Okay, so the best I could think of was this. Cut the pastry in half, line the bottom of a baking tray with the pastry, spread the date mixture over the top, and then cover with the remaining bit of the dough. My mum, when I was little, used to make something called date slice, which I absolutely loved, so maybe I'll just call this an exotic date slice, who knows. Let's hope it tastes slightly better than it actually looks. Once you've created your biscuits, or in my case, my exotic date slice, you need to pop it into a hot oven for 15 minutes. The oven temperature needs to be 160 degrees fan, 180 degrees centigrade, or gas mark 4. When it comes out of the oven, you need to pop it onto a wire rack to cool, and then when it's cooled, cut it into slices.